Hi,
Hello,
Dave.
Kyle. How are you today?
Baruch Hashem, okay.
How was your Shabbat?
Yeah, nice.
Nice. Good. Wasn't so hot. Good.
No, that was the good part.
Yeah.
Did you have a nice one?
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. We had, there was a bar mitzvah in shul,
Say it
and
again?
there was a bar mitzvah in shul,
Oh,
and Eitan Katz, you know who he is?
who?
Eitan Katz. He's a singer.
Oh,
And
yes.
so he was brought in, I guess, and he davened Shachris and Musaf.
Yeah, his
Very,
father
very
was friendly
right,
with us.
right. His
His
father was a
father,
chas.
he was, he is from Argentina.
Huh.
Hi, Harold.
Hello.
It
Hi,
looks,
Harold.
by the angle of the video, it looks like you're in a jungle in the bottom of a hill.
No,
In
no, I'm
Guatemala.
at my patio, my front
In
patio.
Guatemala.
Yeah. Just excuse the monkeys.
Yeah, where are they?
I ate them.
Oh,
I was
oh,
hungry.
remember, what was it? Those adventure movies where they cut the head of the monkey.
Monkey
Yeah, they
brain.
drink. Yeah,
Eh?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
yeah.
It was yucky.
It must be true. I know they have a thing where they take a snake, they slit open a snake, and they do like the Chinese. They have all these weird things for virility and nonsense.
It works though.
They have a billion. They have a billion people, so it must work.
It works. I saw it actually in a market in Taiwan. It
You
was
did
quite.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How's it taste?
I have no idea. Well, they grill the meat.
Oh,
So
they
they
do.
yeah, it's the blood that actually is has the potency.
Uh,
But they do it on the street, like
yeah, that's what I've heard. I'll
yeah,
take your word for it.
yeah.
I was in a market once in Thailand, a night market, and they had thousands of different insects that you could buy. It was so like just all laying on this dish. It was like so disgusting. Ugh.
But they were saying,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, delicious.
Let's
Supposed
say,
to be high in protein.
didn't you go to Slifkin's
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
dinner?
yeah. So they had locust. They gave a little package, but I didn't eat it.
What
But
was
we
the main
we ate
course?
peacock and pheasant.
And you
Yeah,
liked it? Was it
tastes like
good?
chicken. It was okay.
I think
Tastes like chicken. They
okay.
had for dessert, they had um, they had a piece of cake, but the sauce was made from a coffee bean from the civet cat that they eat the beans raw and they
Mhm.
poop them out, and then
yeah.
so yeah, we had that. You know how
Ugh.
you know how it tasted? It tasted shitty.
A lot of people showed up.
Yeah, maybe 50 people.
Huh.
Yeah,
Where was it?
at Lee Sampson's house.
Whose?
Lee Sampson's house. Lee Sampson. It's his
Oh,
his
It's a son-in-law.
son-in-law. His son-in-law
Yeah.
runs this museum in Israel, this natural history museum.
Zoo rabbi.
He has the zoo rabbi. Yeah, it's very interesting. You know why? How some people say you can eat this and some you can't, and even with turkey, it's still a problem. Herschel Schechter won't eat turkey because there's no Masorah for it.
Okay.
It's an
oh.
American bird. Let's see. Who's there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernie was there.
There's no,
Where is he now? Oh, here he comes.
probably now, yes.
Okay, we're on Daf Mem.
Face.
Daf 40. So we said
Okay.
if you were on Daf Mem 40, on the top, Hashta Kilbis Achasar Mishari. This was if you have this cut pieces of fish, but you have one whole fish, which is a kosher fish. So, and it said if you have one or two, it's kosher. Well, if you have one, why do you need two? Shtei kilbios meboy. So lo kasha kan. When you need two is bepsuchos. When you have barrels that are open, kan bestumos. And if you have a closed barrel, one is enough. Itmar. Ravun Amar ad shete rosh v'shedra nicker. We said that the fish, you need to see the head and the spinal cord, spinal column. Rav Nachman Amar, o rosh o shedra, either or. So Masr Ravuka bar Chama. It says in Masechtas Chulin that what are the simanim? Bedogim kol sheyesh lo snapir v'kaskeses. If it has fins and scales. So what's this head in the spinal column? We don't need that. Amar Abaya, ki tanya hi aro upumuda. The doma reshayu litmeim. Those fish look like crayfish. So you can't. So then you need fish and fins and scales. You can't rely on the head, but otherwise you could. Machlokas l'tavel b'tzirin. This machlokas, whether it has to do with whether it's permitted to dip your bread in the fish, in the juice of this fish. Aval begufan, but to eat the flesh, divrei kol osur. Ad she rosh v'shedra nicker, unless you see the head in the spinal column. Initially, the only thing I was permitted to do is dip. But kivan deshmana laha the amar v'yidam mishmei de'ula machlakas l'tavel b'tzirin. Aval begufan divrei kol osur ad she rosh v'shedra nicker b'tzirin nami lo matfilan. I don't dip stamazoi, my bread in the fish juice, because they aser. On Rav Papa hilchasa, ad she rosh v'shedra nicker shokolachas v'yachas. You need to identify every fish. Now, this is a major machlokas between the OU and the OK, other kashrus organizations, regarding whether we rely on rove. So, and you don't have to inspect every fish. OU relies on rove. There are stringent organizations. I had one of the mashgichim was a patient of mine. He explained they have to actually check every fish. It's based on this Gemara. Meisvei. Chaticho sheyesh b'hem siman. You have pieces of fish. The pieces of fish have a siman. Bein bekulam bein b'miktzos, whether it's all of the pieces or some, afilu be'achad b'me'esh ben kulam mutaros. Even if you find one of the pieces with simone kashrus, they're all permitted. Ma'aser b'goy echad shehevi Garav shel chatichos, he brought a big jug full of pieces of fish. V'nimtza siman b'achas man v'hit Rav Shimon Gamliel l'sak garav kulo, and Rav Shimon Gamliel was lenient. Chicken Rav Papa kisher chatichos shavos, when they're exactly the same. So, or you can fit them in like a puzzle. You know that all came from one fish, but otherwise it wouldn't be good. So the Gemara says if that's the case, Yochi Mailamim, then what's the chodesh? Ma'ad saying nechash dilma. Isrami, that maybe that it just happened to be like this, but they're not from the same fish. Kamash Bulan, that we're not choishes. Hahu arba zachanta da asi l'sikra. There was a boat with small fish that came to the city and wasn't clear about the identification of the fish. Novak Ravuna Barchina v'chaza be'kalfi v'sharya. Ravuna came and inspected the schoira, and he said they have scales and they're permitted. Now, boats in their hull, people are always depositing fish there. Maybe the scales that were found there is from other fish before this catch. So, Nafik Shipur de Rava v'osar. Rava took out a shofar to blow, to say that all the fish from this ship are treif. But She put Ravuna Barchina v'shari, but then Ravuna blew shofar and said it's permitted. Amar Yirmi difti l'didi, Arli Rav Papi, ki shor Ravuna Barchina, when he permitted, the permission was only l'tavil b'tziron, to dip your bread into their juice. Aval begufan, to eat the flesh low. But Amar Ravashi, l'didi Amli Rav Papa, ki shor Ravuna Barchina, fil begufan. When he permitted this particular case, he permitted eating even the flesh that swells. And I don't aser. The Amarli Rav Papa, he mattered even beguf. But v'lo mishna sharina, I don't permit. The Amarli Rav Yudim Mishmei Ula machlokas latavel b'tziron. The machlokas, whether it was kosher or not, was only to dip. Aval begufan divrei kol shei rosh v'shadu nikr kol hachav. You need to identify the head and the spinal column of each individual fish in order to matter eating the flesh of the fish. Yosef Avchina Baridi Kamed Rav Ada Barava Yosef Kamar Goy Shehevi Erivam Lechavios. He brought a bunch of barrels full of fish. V'nimtzes Kilbis Bachosman. They saw kosher fish in one of them. If the barrels were psuchos, kulam notoros. Stumos, only the individual barrel that was found to have the kosher fish mutoros, kulam asuros. Amarle Manalacho, how do you know this? Mitlosa Kroishmieli, from three great chachamim that we relied on, Rav Shmuel, Rav Yochanan. Rav Brun Amarav, kirve dogim, the inside, the innards of fish, the ubron and their roe, meaning the eggs. You have to buy from an expert who sells kosher fish, and he can tell you it's from a kosher fish. Rami la ula Rav Dustoy min biri. Bidiko Amar Rav, kirve dogim uborn einich elamina mumcha michlal, shedag tome isle uber. That other non-kosher fish have these have eggs as well. But verminu dag tome mashritz, a unkosher fish gives birth to live animals like a dolphin, like a whale, right? Those are and they don't have eggs. The doctor matel bates. So same mikan urban. So you have to edit from here where it said they're eggs.
But Ernie, we know that's not true. The sturgeon has roe.
Right. So here comes the Gemara.
Oh, okay.
No, don't remove it, because both like Harold said, both kosher fish and non-kosher fish, they lay eggs. Elazeh, the kosher fish, mashris mi bachutz, he lays the eggs, and then the new fish come out of those eggs. The non-kosher fish, mashris mi bifnim, he has eggs inside, and the new progeny come out inside, within the body of the. I don't know if this is true. I'm not an ichthyologist. It sounds like this is what Chazal understood. So the Gemara says, "Lameli mumcha." What do you know? Live dog b'simonim. You have simonim. Titania. Listen how they would check the eggs. Kisimonim beitzim kach simeni dogim. The way we have rules for identifying a kosher egg, we have rules for the fish. Now, simoni dogim salkadaitich. Simoni dogim stabim kaskas ksivbu. We have two simonim, fins and scales. Ella, kesimoni beitzim kach simeni ubri dogim. Just like we have when an egg comes to us and we can identify it's a kosher egg, the same thing with eggs of fish. Eluain simoni beitzim. Kosher kodesh v'agul golos. It's not a perfect circle. Roisha echad kav v'rosha echad chad. One tip of the egg is rounded, and the other is sharp, is sort of like a point. That's tahira. Now, if you have an egg with shnei roshei chadim, they're both pointed, or shnei roshei chadim, or they're both rounded, that's tmeah. And then if you, like, I guess, make a hard-boiled egg, and you see chelmon mibachutz v'chelbon mibifnim, the yellow is on the outside and the white is on the inside, that's tameh. Chelbon mibachutz v'chelbon mibifnim. If the white is on the outside and the yellow is on the inside, that's Torah. It's like our eggs. Chelvon v'chelmon murovin zeb is if you see an egg where there's white and yellow mixed in, zui beitzas sheretz. That's a reptile. Amarova. So kishini mucho. But we were talking about when you couldn't. It all got melted up, so you couldn't really check either the eggshell like we described or the inside. Urav destoy. Right, there was a mandamar who removed the fish eggs from the rice of Atanya. Kisimoni based kach simoni uvrei dakim. What do you do with that? There is uvrei dakim. So lav trutz mitartzla. You answered it. Kach simoni kivrei dakim. You amended and you got rid of uvrei dakim. Ve'echi mishkachasla. How would we know the simonim of the insides? The fish is filled with gas. Rashi says, "Masir shel dag shemlicha shemlei ruach." It's got some kind of air in it. Imein shamum chemai. What do we do if there is no expert? Somebody says, "I salted it, and they're kosher, mutorin." From Nachman Amar ad sheyomer elu dogim. These are the kosher fish, ve'elu kirven, and they came from this fish. Once they salted it, it's okay. If came up this kosher fish with these other fish, then it's mutter bachil. Pshita, lo nitzcha elal kartin. But the pieces, because remember we said we chopped them up with a knife that had absorbed non-kosher fat. Maybe this has all been mixed in with the non-kosher stuff. Kamash malon, they just stuck to the piece of kosher fish that came up with it, and it has nothing to do with what was cut with the knife. Then we said round olives. Pshita, why should they be osir lo nitzracha? Avagav derafi tuva. They're very soft. Maybe they're soft because the goy put wine in. No. Hani machmas mishchu derafi, because of the oil that's coming out. Rabbi Yossi Omer shlochin asurin. Hechi dami shlochin. What is he shlochin? Amrav Yosef Chanina kol she'oizu b'yodav v'garnius nishmet is when you pick up an olive and it's so moist that it falls apart in your hand. That's shlochin. And then we said chagavin aboin from slula. We said are not kosher. Torah Rabbanon hachagavin and hakapirisin, which is capers, vakaflutos, watercress, habaymina oitzer, if they came from the warehouse, umina heftek, a temporary warehouse, umina svina, from the boat mutorim, because nothing non-kosher has been mixed with them. But nimkorim bekatluz, if they're sold in the market and they're in front lifnei chenveni, so asurin they pour wine on it to make it smell better. Apple cider made by goyim. If it comes from a boat or a warehouse, it's mutter. A nimkar b'katluza aser. Sold in the market, it's prohibited. They would put yain nesach there. Torabon pamachas chash Rebbe me'ev. Rebbe had intestinal illness. Omar klum yesh ish shiodea yain tapuchim shukum. Does somebody know apple cider is very good for this? Does anybody know whether aser or mutter? Is it permitted or not? Rabbi Yossi, my father, was sick. Was aged 70 years. And he drank it. You had all this knowledge, you never told me it? So they checked, a goy had 600 barrels of this aged apple cider. And Rebbe drank and he was healed. That he gave things to people who watched him. This thing was watched for 70 years and was needed for refuah of Rebbe. Truma. Mishnah ends up saying, and all this is correct by Truma. Now, my v'chein Truma. What does that mean? Amar Rav Sheshes, v'kein lekoin ha'choshed limkor Truma l'shem chulin. If a Kohen was suspected of selling Truma as chulin, so we said that is in front of him lefanavu oster because he's doing business with that. If it comes from his own personal machsan, then you can eat with the mutter because irtit mitir savar shimi be rabban mafiliminoy. The chacham are going to hear what I'm doing and they're going to cut me off. So he would have a cheskas kashrut. Harlachen mamidin, harlachen mamidin, harlachen mamidin. Mem Amid Beis, Mishnah. Kolat Slamim Asurim. All idols, we assume that they've been worshipped. So it's Asur Banah. They're at least worshipped once a year, Div Reb Meir. We're talking about a human statue. So if it had in his hand a stick, or a bird, or a globe, so that shows that it's an Avodah Zara. Rabbi Shimon Omer Af Kol Sheish Ber Kol Davar. If he has in his hand anything, that would also be making an Avodah Zara. So Eden Avdim Pamachas B'Shana, my time at Rabbanan. If they were worshipped once a year, why do the Chachamim matir? Where Rab Meir lived, every idol was worshipped at least once a year. Rab Meir the Chayish L'Miyuta. His shita is normally that we're worried even about a minority. So Gozer B'Shar Mekomes, Atu Asu Makom. His Makom, they definitely did it. But other Mekomes, they didn't do it. But he made a Gzeira. Other Mekomes because of his Makom. Now, Rabbanan de Lo Chayish L'Miyuta, the Chachamim who don't follow minority, Lo Gozer B'Shar Mekomes, Atu Asu Makom. They didn't make Gzeira to other places. Amar Shmuel, Bandarti Shal Malachim Shanin. We're talking about statues of kings or emperors. That's where there's machlokas to asr them or not, but other statues, not necessarily of the kings or the emperors. It's not necessarily worshipped of Avodah Zara. We're talking about you drive into Rome, at the entrance of Rome, you see big statue or any city. But if it's not there, then it's not necessarily an Avodah Zara. Okay. So we're going to do the Navi Shir at 8 o'clock.
Very good. See you soon.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
not 7:15.
No,
Okay.
back to 7 because our mincha is 6:20. It's fine.
Okay. Go ahead.